Dear friends, good evening.
On behalf of the Hosseini, Hoxamir, Arya and extended family, we would like to thank you for attending tonight's memorial service for our beloved Tina, who passed from this material world on the 24th of February 2013.
Tina, as a believer in the Baha'i faith, believed that the soul continues its progress after leaving this earthly life. Baha'is also believe that remembering, praying, and doing good deeds in memory of the person who passed away will assist further progress of the soul in other spiritual worlds. This is the main reason the family have organised the memorial for tonight and have asked you to join us in praying and remembering Tina and her life.
We are going to begin with the devotional part, which consists of prayers and writings that will be read and chanted. While keeping the joyful spirit, please take your part in the program by having Tina in your thoughts as you listen to the words and the prayers. Before we go any further, we would like to humbly request for everyone to turn off their mobile phones as we proceed with the devotional part.
I beseech thee, the things that he seeketh from the ocean of thy grace and the days of loving most generous.
والله ای شیدای روی دلجوی هم این کره خاک آشیانه مرغ خاکیست و پرنده ظلمانی لحاظ پرندگان هدو الهی.
O ye people that have minds to know and ears to hear, the first call of the beloved is this: O mystic nightingale, abide not but in the rose garden of the Spirit. O messenger of the Solomon of love, seek thou no shelter except in the Shiva of the well-beloved. And O immortal Phoenix, who will not save on the mount of faithfulness, wherein is thy habitation, if on the wings of thy soul thou soarest to the realm of the infinite and seekest to attain thy goal.
Whither shall I turn? Whither shall I turn? Powerless as I am to discover any other way, set the way that thou didst set. Whither shall
بخشنده و تابان ای خداوند این بنده ارجمند را در درگاه خداوندیت ارجمند نما و این افتاده بیچاره را بلند و دانشمند فرما دلش را دریا کن و جانش را همدم جهان بالا.
We will now proceed to sing one of Tina's favourite prayers. The words will be up on the slide, so if you can please join in with us, that would be great.
Thank you for your reference. We will now carry on with the program by listening to talks by Shailin, Shadi, Emily and Kayhan, and about their memories of Tina.
Hello, my name is Shailene and I'll be telling you about some of my memories of my mum. I'm just going to tell you at the start, it's very basic. Well, when Mum passed on, a few weeks, but well, before I get to that, Mum knew that I loved 3 basic animals, which was the eagle, the horse and dog. And Mum always knew, and after that week that Mum passed away, she came into my dream as those 3 basic animals, which was, as I said before, the horse, dog, eagle. Because Mum knew how devastated I was when she passed, but that's why she came in my dream. To tell me that she's always there with me as those 3 animals, because she didn't want me to be, well, upset, and she wanted to calm me down in my dream. So, thank you for listening to me, and
no one gets it. They think it's easy. Some tell me I'm strong. How am I coping with the situation? How am I dealing with it? People never comprehended how well I dealt with the situation. People stared at me with utter confusion because it's meant to be a traumatic situation, that I should have shown more emotion or deal with it in a more dramatic way. That is how most people perceive a situation. Many are so used to the one reaction that when they see someone so different to the way people normally react, they are dumbfounded. It's like a line of soldiers. 10 soldiers salute out of respect, but there is the one soldier that dances while the others salute. I'm that one that dances. I'm that different soldier because I don't want to put myself down for something that has happened not only to me, but to other families. I shouldn't sit here. Instead, push along. Doesn't mean I'm not upset. I dealt with it differently. And knowing that my mum is watching over me and my dad being so strong throughout the whole experience gave me an excuse to not slack off and change myself because life goes on. This is what our life has been set from God to do. Do our duties in the physical world and leave with no unfinished business, but a satisfied life just before we depart this world to move on to the next. We eventually have to accept what happened and know that this life is tough. But we all move on and we all have our ups and downs, but eventually we all get where we want to be. I would not have been so strong if it wasn't for my family, being so strong throughout the experience. No one can compare how difficult this massive change has been on our family and how it's impacted each of us differently. This past year has flown by. Every little memory comes flooding back when that exact day comes by, but a different year comes around again. And you instantly remember that specific memory with that special person you lost. It's hard. Maybe one of the most hardest times for me was on New Year's Eve. Just waiting for that countdown to begin. It was so overwhelming. For me, as this was the start of a new year, new resolution, having a better year than the last. It brought back so many memories from my mother. I saw people celebrating and getting excited for the new years to come. But for me, I just felt that it was time to reflect on the times I had with my mum in 2013. And that it was the last year that I spent with her. Before I could let that year go, I needed to reflect on the last memories, then put them behind me, and start this year in a happier and more positive state. That night was the hardest night for me, knowing that 2014 was around the corner. And that exact day, she was there but a year ago. Also knowing that this new year will be the first without her being beside me to help me in the hard times. It will be tough. On that odd occasion, when I would catch up with a friend and they would have a conversation about their mum, it makes me think about my own. When a friend talks about what they did with their mother, it makes me think of what I once had. A loving, caring mother. I almost feel as though as happy as the person talking about their mother, because then it makes me think of what I once had, but 100 times better. And I take it in and appreciate what I did have. I can sit in front of my friends and tell them that my mother was great and just show them exactly what kind of mother I really had. That even though she has passed, it still feels like I'm talking about her just like it was yesterday. One of the most stressful times for me was the passing of Mum and uni starting. It was so difficult, it felt like a blur. I didn't even remember who came and who didn't. It was just so fast. As soon as the most busiest, stressful times were over, I had missed a week or two of uni. It was very overwhelming for me because I missed out on uni work, but also was thrown into the deep end because I had gone from TAFE to uni, which was a massive leap. Everything was very independent. There was never help around you. You needed to figure it out for yourself. Many told me I should take a year off, and others were saying they couldn't do what I did, and also told me that maybe I should take half a year off. But somehow I passed the first semester without breaking into pieces because the amount of stress I was in. But I would not have accomplished this achievement if it wasn't for my dad. Seeing him every day going to and from work, cooking as soon as he got home, preparing Shilene, my little sister's food the night before, every single day. Working never ended for him. That could not make me more inspired. Instead of seeing the cup half empty, I see it as full. Because I didn't need any more to make me content with what I saw and needed to do. My eyes have opened up and I came to understand more about the core focus in life rather than the surface. When I knew what needed to be accomplished, I just thought to myself, after looking at my dad and his wisdom I gained from him, I now go through life as it comes and don't change for the worst, but change for the better. And hey, maybe the way my father impacted me, I can impact others and their lives too. And show them that there is a light at the other end of the tunnel. So never doubt or blame yourself. We all know we are capable of going through these tests to make us more stronger for what's coming next. Never let negativity bring you down. Time will heal. Don't beat yourself up if it hasn't healed yet, because maybe it's not yet your time to heal, because you need to go through more hardship to realize more about your life, family, and mature from these situations. Appreciate every moment, because you know that the next time something traumatic happens, it won't hit you as hard and won't hurt you like it did the first time. God and life itself, is getting everyone prepared for their crazy experiences that they will have in the future.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Emily, and I have the privilege of being called Shadi's friend. I went to see Tina a few days in hospital before she passed, and the first thing she said to me was, "Oh, Emily, my angel, how are you?" The second thing she said was, "Here, have a biscuit." Tina always knew I was hungry, and she also knew the importance of food, and funnily enough, she saved every biscuit the hospital had given her and saved it in a container so that when people came, she could always offer them some food. She was the best hostess I've ever met. At that time, Shadi and I were having a few arguments, and I was talking to her while she was in hospital, and I said to her, you know, Shadi and I are going through a bit of a rough time. And she said, you and Shadi are the same. You need each other. And that's why you're such good friends. And Tina somehow was always right. So today I wrote this poem with Tina in mind about when life passes on, they are not gone forever. I was beaten by weather, but not beaten by time. I have not really left you. My breath moves the wind and churns the sea. My strength forges rock and mountain. My heart is one with the lion, and my voice is woven into a bird's song. I am the sun, I'm the sunrise, which kisses the valleys, and the rooster that crows at dawn. You look into my eyes when you gaze meets the sky. You see the twinkle in my eye when the stars illuminate your night. I am one with the earth. I am one with you. I am one with God. Thank you.
Good evening, friends. My name is Kehan, or as Tina used to call me, Juju, or Dr. Kane. I'm Said's nephew. Before I start talking about Tina, I'd like to take a moment to really praise my Amo Said and his lovely children. Over the last 12 months, well, obviously everyone knows that I'm really close with Said, and I was with Tina as well. And I've seen Said change so much, but not lose his charming and perky character. We don't know what happens behind closed doors, but you know, he's amazing. His courage and his personality, and the way he keeps on going. And he always says it's not easy being a mumda. It's a word I think they've created themselves. What's it stand for? Mum and dad? Is it? Yeah. He's a mumda. So mumda. There you go. He's amazing. Good on you, Said. I love you. Tina, my relationship with Tina, I think I met Tina in 1987. Said and Al-Mehdad lived 5 doors down from us, and I'd always find an excuse somehow to go and bother them. Knock on the door, or annoy them somehow. And one of these days he opened the door and this bombshell was sitting across the room. Thinking, wow, how did you do that? She was gorgeous, she was amazing. She long black hair, big eyes, shiny big smile, and she was a 5-star chef, and she was a manager of a really good restaurant. So she had this beautiful top, white top and dress on. As soon as she saw me, she just put her arms out and come here, and she gave me the biggest hug and kiss that lasted all the way through till last year. The same thing, never changed. And soon after, 1989, they got married, and I think I virtually became part of the furniture with Said and Tina. I was there almost every weekend with them both. During the days hanging with Said, learning stuff from him. At nights just chilling out with Tina, eating food. I think she got me hooked on Milo at that stage. It was amazing. I remember her pregnancy with Cheyenne. It was amazing how she was changing, and sitting around picking Cheyenne's name with Said and Tina. When we came up with that name, we all, with the three of us, just looked at each other like, wow, we got a name. She was just amazing. The things that Tina would do for you, there's just the little things that she would do for you without you even realizing, was probably the best part of her character. Just as you know, the finishing touches with all the stuff. I grew up with her. She taught me a lot of stuff, you know, her wisdom, going through adolescence, you know, secretly putting the wisdom in you without making you feel inferior. She would give the same message as my parents would want to give me, but in a different way. Now that I've got kids of my own, I realise how cool she was and how she used to just, you know, give you wisdom, give you knowledge, and if you're stuffing up somehow, pull you back into track. You know, I remember the first business that Tina and Said bought, Benny's Bistro, around the corner from our house now, up on the hill. Geez, I had some good times with her there. I worked with her all the way through till the closing days, or to the time that she sold the business. We had amazing times. We just couldn't. We were mostly in trouble in the back because we were constantly laughing. One of the best memories of that time was they had a cool room in the back, and obviously all restaurants have, and this was a walk-in one. It was pretty old and shabby. Tina used to make the most amazing tiramisus, and she used to always put them in the left-hand corner when you walked into the cool room. And during my working hours, you know, I'd sneak in and take a little peck at it and go back. She knew what was going on. One of these times I went into the cool room and the cool room door shut and I couldn't open it. So I got stuck there for a good 10, 15 minutes. And she's looking for me because she needs help in the kitchen. She's looking, she finally comes to the cool room and she finds me on the ground with this tiramisu on my lap. You know, most aunties or most bosses would turn around and yell at you or scream at you, but she just turned around, praised me, had a bit of a chuckle and a laugh and picked me up and gave me a hug and a kiss. She goes, go inside, if Angelo sees you, you're going to get in trouble, go clean up. You know, that's just the way she was. She was just a big-hearted person. You know, the biggest impression that Tina made on my life was, or really inspiration, that she would always tell me, either, I don't know why, but she'd always tell me there's something special about me. I think Said knows what I'm talking about. And she said, you're always going to be successful in anything you do. I know you will. And you know what, she's right. I always remember all the things that she says, you know, it's always in my head, spinning around. The things that I really miss about Tina is her big heart. Like, most of the times, I'm in the car business, so I virtually help all my family buy cars and sell cars or get their new cars. I've done this for almost everyone that's close to me in my family. The only person that actually sent me a card, a box of chocolates and flowers and a phone call after it was Tina. Now, everyone knows how many cars I've bought for families, but Tina just did that sort of stuff, you know? And a phone call after to make sure I got it, you know? I miss her phone calls. I really miss her phone calls. Like, her phone calls were just out of the blue, and she always knew when you were sort of down and you needed a bit of lifting up. She rang you, and you know, the conversations weren't long, but there was so much fun. I even loved it more when I called her, because as soon as I would call her, her answer would be, "Oh, Zanamu, I love you, Jigari Fadot Bisham." That was her on the other side. I just wanted to hear that, and I'd say, "Hey, you know what? I just got what I wanted. I gotta go now." You know, and I used to love when she got excited. When Tina got excited, it was all over. She was just, "Oh my God, come on. She would just shake through excitement because she'd just seen something really cool, or she wanted to do something. You know, that was just Tina through and through. I think Sarah knows what I'm talking about. She's chuckling. So at the end of it, you know, over the last year, things have happened that I feel her presence all the time. I'm feeling amazing things. Something happened yesterday that I broke down completely because she was there. She's always showing her presence. She's never too far away. She's still amazing. She's still around, and you know, and she'll never be forgotten. Thank you.
Oh God, guide me, protect me, make of me a shining lamp and a brilliant star. Oh God, guide me, protect me, make of me a shining lamp and a brilliant star. I was given my name and placed in this family, told what to think in this life that they've handed me. They say they're right, but deep down I know that they're wrong, so I've got to stay strong and keep holding on, but it's hard when it feels like I've got no voice. I'm treated like a child, so I've got no choice but to turn to my friends who make me one of them. The pressure never ends. Oh God, guide me, protect me, make of me a shining lamp and a brilliant star. Oh God, guide me, protect me, make of me a shining lamp and a brilliant star. I know these are mistakes that I don't really need to make, 'cause it's in my own hands to shape my own fate. But I feel like I'm lost when the teacher tried to teach me, preacher tried to preach me, but only you could reach me. I know you're always there, I know you've always cared, 'cause I could feel that there was hope, but my vision isn't paired by the clouds that have found me as darkness surrounds me. Oh God, guide me. Oh God, guide me, protect me, make of me a shining lamp and a brilliant star. Oh God, guide me, protect me, make of me a shining lamp and a brilliant star. Make me a star, make me a lamp, ignite my heart, make it shine in this land. Oh my God, my life, my desire, I want to spread love just like a wildfire. Make me a star, make me a lamp, ignite my heart, make it shine in this land. Oh my God, my life, my desire, I want to spread love just like a wildfire. Oh God, guide me, protect me, make of me a shining lamp and a brilliant star.
What would I do without your smart mouth? Drawing me in and you kicking me out. You got my head spinning, no kidding. I can't pin you down. What's going on in that beautiful mind? I'm on your magical mystery ride, and I'm so dizzy, don't know what hit me, but I'll be alright. My head's underwater, imperfections. Give your all to me, I'll give my all to you. You're my end and my beginning. Even when I lose, I'm winning. 'Cause I give you all of me, and you give me all of you. Oh, how many times do I have to tell you? Even when you're crying, you're beautiful too. The world is beating you down. I'm around through every mood. You're my downfall, you're my muse, my worst distraction, my rhythm and blues. I can't stop singing, it's ringing in my head for you. My head's underwater, but I'm breathing fine. You're crazy and I'm out of my mind. 'Cause all of me loves all of you. Love your curves and all your edges, all your perfect imperfections. Give your all to me, I'll give my all to you. You're my end and my beginning. Even when I lose, I'm winning. 'Cause I give you all of me, and you give me all of you.
دفتر خاطراتمو هر شب ورق میزنم، اسم تو هر صفحشه میخونم و میشکنم. خالکوبی کردم اسم تو روی تمام بدنم تا باورت شه اونی که هر لحظه یادته منم. هر کی میپرسه حالمو میگم همه چیز عالیه. هیچکی نمیدونه چقدر جای تو اینجا خالیه. حالا میفهمم خالی یعنی چه حس و حالی.
We will continue with more talks on memories of Tina by Martine, Andre, Caroline and Sarah.
Hi everyone. I met Tina about 7 years ago, and we had a shop next to each other. Her and Sam had their shop, Redback Imports, and I had a natural therapy shop in the same street. And one day, Tina and Charlene walked into my shop, and at first sight, when I met Tina, we just instantly connected, and I've written a message for her today. To my dearest soul sister Tina, from the first day we met, we instantly shared a strong loving connection. We deeply connected on a heart and soul level as we shared a spiritual connection. We were always in tune with each other. At times, no words needed spoken, as our soul essences would always talk in its own sacred divine language. The most joyful, amazing, beautiful, divine woman I have ever met in this sacred lifetime is you, my dearest Tina. You taught me so much and always believed in me and encouraged me to be the changes I wish to see in this world. You were one of my greatest teachers, and you were a divine inspiration to many others. As you always shared unconditionally, your beautiful heart of gold will always be remembered, and your beautiful great big smile would light up an entire room. Your energy was pure love, as I see you were an angel who chose to live on this earth and experience life as a human being. And by doing so, you enriched the lives of everyone who knew you, as you will always be a great gift to us all. You represent the meaning of unconditional love and compassion for all of humanity. I give great thanks, as I am truly honoured to have known such a beautiful, exquisite, divine woman, for you will always hold a place inside my heart and soul essences. We are one, always in spirit. We are together always, for universal love and light is forever. Blessings, dearest angel of one. I love you, my beautiful soul sister Tina. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name's Andre. There are so many stories that I could share with everyone in this room today about my encounters with this beautiful soul Tina. All happy, and all of them share pure love and joy, which I think she brought to everyone's lives. But one really stood out to me when it came to writing this speech, because I think it really amplifies just real joy and love, which are things that I think Tina brought and amplified when she stepped into my life. Tina was my friend and my second mother, and she guided me here in the physical world. I recall the first time we met, her standing on the top of the steps to the entrance to her house, wearing one of her headscarves, of course, with a big grin from ear to ear and open arms waiting to greet me for the first time I ever met her. My connection with Tina was not limited to the physical world though, and this is something I feel truly blessed to have shared with her and continue to share with her. About 8 months after Tina's passing, I was strolling through a new age shop, surrounded by handcrafted furniture, candles, etc. Only one thing stood out to me, a small water fountain. The fountain was a Buddha who sat quietly on a step. In its hands was an open lotus flower which the water would flow from and trickle down the statue peacefully. Just like the statue, at that moment, Tina peacefully trickled into my third eye. I moved through the rest of the store with the same image stuck in my mind. There was something about this fountain. I never thought that it was something that I would admire before, but there was some connection between me and Tina, my psychic teacher. That night I set up my new fountain on my desk and I lay down on my bed to watch a movie. I had not yet plugged in the fountain. Throughout the movie, I kept on thinking about Tina, and as I wandered off, I realised that my eye kept on drawing to my new fountain. Then something amazing happened which I could not explain. As I thought of Tina and my mind set on the fountain, miraculously the fountain turned on. I thought I must have been tired, so I ignored it. The fountain then turned back off. It proceeded to turn on and off for the next few moments as I asked Tina to validate if it was her making her presence known to me. After the movie, I walked over to the fountain to check the plug in the wall. It was indeed still unplugged and laying on the floor. There is no explanation for how this event took place for me except for one. I continue my life journey with memories of Tina, both physically and spiritually. Every day I remember how she changed my life, and from the other side she continues to do so, knowing that I still have that lifelong friend standing next to me. Through my experience, I have come to understand that despite her departure from my arms, she still continues to fulfill her life's dream on the other side and walks with us here in the physical world. Thank you.
Dear Tina June, with your permission, I would like to share a few of our memories in this gathering. I know that you're here and listening to me, laughing as usual, saying, "Jiggery, jiggery, Caroline June princess." So, as we met the first time almost 25 years ago, we immediately fell in love in our hearts and built a close spiritual connection together forever. I always remember the first day we went for the wedding shopping, and at night I came to Said's house to sleep. So after dinner, before bed, I said a prayer and fell asleep straight after it. You were somehow observing me. To your surprise, the next morning you asked me, what was I saying and why did I do it? So that was how you started to keep asking me a lot of questions about my belief and wanted to know more and more. With my broken English at that time, we could talk so deep conversation for hours and hours, as if language wasn't a barrier. I always remember how you were willing to come to my Persian classes and wait for everyone to leave, and so you could continue our previous conversation about the faith. You used to ask me so many questions, and then you would tell me that how you already believe in love and unity of mankind, and that we are all brothers and sisters from the same family, and also love is the foundation of the whole creation. You were telling me even before meeting us, you were doing the investigation of the truth by yourself. I remember the day that you were pregnant with Cheyenne. You come to my class as usual. Waiting for everyone to leave. Then you told me you had a beautiful dream of Baha'u'llah. I said you were ready to become Baha'i. From that day on, you started your new journey with such full speed and experiment and excitement that no one could stop you. Life with its own challenges, marriage, kids, husband, work, even sickness. Nothing could stop you to share the love, helping hand, and kind words to anyone who comes to your path. The unity of this gathering is the witness of it. So in conclusion, I would like to say that I always admire your courage for your independent investigation of the truth and your steadfastness and fulfilling your heart desire until your last breath. I also admire your strength and commitment to your life, your family, and humanity by caring and serving them to your full potential. Meanwhile, finding time to further your education and complete your naturopathy and Reiki. Also, running meditation classes, as well as teaching educational classes at state school. You know how much I love you and how much I miss you in this physical world. God bless your soul.
I wish I could hug you and just see your beautiful face. It's been 1 year now, I haven't seen your glowing smiles. I miss hearing you walking down the hallway tiles. Now I have put pictures and memories to remember your place. You know, when someone that we love dies, it seems as time stops. We never understand why or how come their time was so soon. But little by little, we begin to remember not that they passed, but that they lived, and that Tina lived, and that her life gave us memories too beautiful to forget. I'm only beginning to learn that, Tina, your life was such a gift, a growing that you left inside of me. Your passing cannot take that from me. I'm learning to look at your life lived and what an honest, authentic way you led. Full of love, laughter and passion for whatever you did. From her family home to travelling the world with them. From dropping the kids off at school and coming home from school herself. From checking into work and coming home like the boss. A fantastic, colourful life she lived. I remember the good old days we had. Your restaurant, Mossimo Court, McElroy Road, birthdays, celebrations that we just made up. We were so much alike and yet so different. But that's what was so special about us. You always listened and knew what to say. Best of all, your bear hugs never went astray. So many memories of us. How do you pick one to share? Especially when we were so rare. I really miss getting your text messages. We knew our limits with one another, not that there was many. So our secrets are spared. Still today, I keep them, just for my brain to share. No one will ever know how much we laughed, who we cried about, or how much chocolate we ate. I laugh as we always laughed at the little jokes we enjoyed together. We did everything with laughter. We thought it would last forever. I never thought I'd be saying goodbye, especially not to you. I know you're still out there, looking down on us. You said to me once, life is a journey that needs to be travelled, and not just the length of it, but the width. And Tina, you sure did that. We will see her again someday in a heavenly place. A place where there is no parting. A place where no words mean goodbye. So travel. Travel your journey, go travel angel face. Travel high and free. Travel through my car radio, as you have been. Travel the places we could only dream. Until that time comes, I will be here missing my best friend. My hey boy, my good guys dance. But remembering her wonderful life lived. I will always love you. Rest in peace.
Baha'i, Tina strongly believed in the concept of life after death. As in the world's other religions, the Baha'i concept of life after death is deeply integrated into the teachings about the nature of the soul and the purpose of this earthly life.
Baha'u'llah, the founder of the Baha'i faith, tells us that in life, the soul is related to the physical body. It provides the underlying animation for the body and is our own real self. Although it is undetectable by physical instruments, the soul itself shows through the qualities of character that are associated with each individual person, such as love and compassion, faith and courage.
Baha'is believe that the soul does not die. It is everlasting. Therefore, when the human body dies, the soul is freed from the ties with the spiritual body and the surrounding physical world. And it begins its journey through the spiritual world. The spiritual world is a timeless and a placeless extension of our own universe, so it is not seen as some physically remote place.
Entry into the next life has potential to bring great joy. Baha'u'llah related death to the process of birth. He explains, "The world beyond is as different from this world as this world is different from that of the child while still in the womb of its mother. So just as the womb constitutes an important place for a person's initial physical development, the physical world provides a setting for the development of the individual soul. So in that light, Baha'is view life as a sort of workshop where one can develop and perfect those qualities that are needed in the next life."
As to heaven and hell, the closer one is to God through building on those spiritual qualities of the soul, the more heaven-like the state is. On the contrary, the further away one is from God, the more hell-like it becomes. However, beyond this, the exact nature of the afterlife remains a mystery. Baha'u'llah writes, "The nature of the soul after death can never be described."
Leading on from that, we will now have a talk by Payman, which will be followed by a talk from Said about the memories of Tina.
Good evening, everyone. When I wanted to choose a topic or a title for this talk, I had a very hard time, hence I have no title for it. But it basically is the actual gist of conversations that I used to have with dear Tina, specifically 2-3 months prior to her sudden death. So we can call it a heart-to-heart conversation, or maybe a virtual journey. I'll leave it up to you to title it. Through my observations of Tina's life, I saw some major changes that happened in her life, and there are major turning points. I'd love to talk about one of them tonight. I'm going to refer to it very quickly, and that's when she declared her love for the principles of the Baha'i faith. So it was a really big shift. She said what happened to her was she expanded her love for Christian beliefs by accepting the principles of Baha'i faith, and it was causing her further progress of spiritual life. And it really is consistent with the Baha'i belief that the prophets of God come one after the other, the term that we refer to as progressive revelation. If I may use a quick example and analogy, if I bring you down to a school and when you look at the school system, when we have from grade 1 right up to year 12, the teachers who teach at those schools are qualified to teach any of those years and grades. But some of them have the mission to teach grade 3 and 4. Some of them have the mission to teach year 11 and 12. Doesn't mean that there is any difference between those teachers. The qualifications are the same, but the mission is what determines what they're going to do. So for grade 3 and 4, they're going to prepare them for the next level. So if we use that analogy, the teachers that we use, if we think of the prophets of God the same, that's what it means by progressive revelation. So it's really acceptance of everyone else and then expanding it to the next level. Because those principles are for our spiritual and physical growth as well. Now, why do I call this thing a huge shift and turning point in someone's life? It's got to do with two things: the actual conscious and subconscious mind in us. According to cognitive neuroscientists, by the age around 35, 80% of our daily activities come from our subconscious mind. Subconscious mind is habitual, is the learned behavior. 50%, or about half of that 95%, is programmed into our subconscious mind up until age of 6. Well, obviously by the parents and also the close relatives. The other 50% is being programmed into our subconscious mind by the culture that we live in, the religious beliefs that we have, the country, and believe it or not, even the advertising that we are exposed to. These are get programmed into the subconscious mind. It's subconscious because it's below conscious. We're not aware of it. And that's very important to realize. So a lot of things that we do based on the habits. So subconscious mind creates filters by which we perceive the world. So our perception of the world and every other human being depends on the actual filters that have been programmed into our subconscious mind. Now, to change those, and that's when you take the step to change, it takes a lot of effort, because if 95% comes from subconscious mind, there's only 5% left for the conscious mind. And that needs a lot of self-awareness, that means a lot of work, and being aware, as I mentioned, being persistent and enthusiastic and really consistent with your way of changing things. The conscious mind comes from the prefrontal cortex, which is right up here, before our forehead. That's where we are very different from every other species on this planet. We are humans, and that's where we are thinking and where we're operating from. So the more we operate at that level, the more human we are acting. There are 9 characteristics that are associated with the conscious mind. I'd like to refer to one of them here tonight, and that's capacity for morality. What it means is we think about virtues like kindness, compassion, love, unity, and all these human virtues. We think about them when we enact them, so we do them as well. The profound thing about that concept is, and that capacity is, that we do the right thing for the sake of doing the right thing. We're not looking for any rewards or any praises. We just do it because it's the right thing to do. Really profound. Another thing which is associated with the conscious mind is we think of us as a whole. We always look at the bigger picture. We might think, why am I here? Why am I doing this planet? Those kind of questions. Having said that, I'd like to take us through a journey. And I want everyone to start the actual thinking from the conscious mind, so using the forehead, and the area there, and think differently when we do this journey together. I want us to look at the bigger picture from the universe. And are we ready? Okay. To do that, I'd like to talk about speed of light first. We all know that light travels 300,000 kilometers per second. If you multiply that by 3,600, that gives you an hour that light travels. That would be 1 billion, around 1 billion kilometers per hour. 1 billion is 1 and 9 zeros. Multiply that by 24 to give you a day. Multiply that by 365. That will give you a year. That's the light year. You will reach the figure of 9 times 12 zeros. That's 9 trillion kilometers in a year that light travels. It's important for us to comprehend this when we talk about the next item. Recently, Hubble telescope discovered the farthest star in our universe, and it is 13.3 billion away from us. That's a huge distance. I'll give you the liberty of calculating that. 13.3 by 9 zeros times 9 times 12 zeros, then you get a figure. I didn't bother to calculating it. But anyway, it's a huge number. What it really tells us is our universe is so huge. I'd like to have a look at this picture, just to visualize it a bit. We all know that our solar system is part of Milky Way. It's a galaxy. So our Milky Way, our solar system, is a very small, tiny bit in there. Our Milky Way is estimated to have from 100 to 400 billion stars in it. So we're very, very small in there. So that is the actual local galactic group. Now there's another group which is bigger than this, and that's the Virgo supercluster. This Virgo supercluster, look how tiny that red dot is. That's our local supercluster, the local cluster that we saw before. Now when we take that to the universe, it becomes a very red dot, small one, and the hugeness of our universe. So I took us through this journey purposely, because to give us a humble reminder of how small we are on this planet. So the problems that we create for ourselves, the racism, the prejudices, the hatreds, the wars, and everything that we create for ourselves, struggling for power, it's all creation of our own mind, and we are doing it. Our reality is very, very different to that one. It is a vast universe. Those figures are very, very big, as we talked about tonight. But it's only when we talk about time. If we take time factor out of all of these that we talked about, then we can travel the whole universe in no time, because there's no time. It might sound absurd or ridiculous, but if we can reach the speed of light, that's when time as we experience it on this planet is very different. So concept of no time means that if we can travel the speed of light, we can be traveling thousands of years and coming back to this earth, we still don't feel a bit of that anyway. That is a different concept when we look at it. So when we take the time factor, which is our limitation, when we take the limitations out of our life, then we see things very differently and we feel things very differently. Our reality is much deeper than what we have taught ourselves to and comprehended it to be. We are part of a whole, a physical body and also our spiritual, our consciousness, soul or spiritual side. It's part of a bigger whole that we're talking about. Now, before we get lost in space, let's come back to Earth and have a look at our physical body. It really is really dependent and related to the animal and vegetable kingdoms. If we look at it, we're very related. If we look at it, we may believe that we're not related to cauliflower, but we really are. 50% of our DNA is the same as cauliflower. We may believe that we're not related to bananas, but 60% of our DNAs are the same. And the percentage goes higher and higher as we enter animal kingdom, right up to 98%, of course, the apes. So we're very interconnected to all of these. Every second we lose 10,000 cells and we create 10,000 cells. Where do nourishments come from those cells? They come from the food that we eat. They get the ingredients from the earth, from the ground. And for the past 4.5 billion years, our earth and its ingredients, the water content of it, has been recycled. Nothing has changed, it's been recycled. So our body, this vehicle, gets recycled. So my body today is a new one, because 1 year ago my body was not mixed. If I'm losing 10,000 cells every second and creating another one, my body is different. So what it really brings to my comprehension is that my body is just a vehicle. In fact, we are a spiritual being experiencing a physical life. We come to this world, borrow this body, gain spiritual qualities, and get ready for the next journey. And of course, we need to leave this vehicle behind because it belongs to this realm. And when we move and transition to the next realm, there's a lot of things that aren't going to happen. Having that in mind, I'd like to invite Saeed, Tina's husband, to come and share some of his experiences over the past year since passing of Tina.
Dear all, I would like to thank you all for attending our beloved Tina's Memorial Night. As most of all know, Tina was a true believer in life. After leaving this earthly world, she always tried to convince me and tell me about it, but I did not take her seriously. Always used to tell her as a joke that whoever leaves this life first will somehow let the other one know of the truth. About the other side. And I can tell you all that she has kept that promise. And letting me know the truth, that she is still here. I can share a few of my experiences with you guys tonight. You can think of it however you guys wish. But for me, one of the one that happened to me, it was just about a few weeks after she's passing on. Sarah, who is one of our dear friend, she used to come to my house for about 3 weeks after she passed away, looking after us almost every day. She used to be there from 3 o'clock when Charlene finished school until about 10, 11, do everything that had to be done and then go back. Before we get to that, I would like to tell you a little story about Tina and Sarah. Then you will understand what happened to me, where it started from. Anytime we used to catch up with Sarah, either at my house or at her parents' house, when it came the night time that the kids were tired and wanted to go to bed, Sarah and Tina used to go and take the kids in the car, in their bassinet, and put them there, put the soft music on, talk, and let the kids fall asleep. It was either in front of my house or in front of her parents' house. And that continued all the time. Every time we catch up, that was happening. So when Tina used to come and look after us those nights, before she wanted to go and pack up and go, I used to help her to put the kids in the bassinet, in the car, and by the time she come in to pack up, get things organized and get in the car and go. We went out outside to make sure the kids are asleep or they're not crying. I went to check. And I come outside and told Sarah, why did you leave the key in the car when the kids are in the car? She said, the kids are not in the ignition. I said, but the radio's on. She said, I didn't put the radio on. The radio's not on. I said, yes it is. The radio's on. So we went and had a look with it. The radio was on a late model car, which is, it's impossible to happen. On a very soft music for the kids. We couldn't turn it on. I couldn't turn it off. I couldn't put the volume up, or I couldn't put the volume down. Then I realized to myself that there is got to be something. It's just can't happen. This just cannot happen on its own. So she took the car to a dealership, to a Mercedes-Benz dealership, and told them about it. And the smart comment that the man made to her, she said to her that night you probably had a few extra drink. So that was an amazing thing that happened, and it didn't happen once. It happened almost every single night onwards after that. Anytime she put the kids in the car, that would happen. And now that she only comes for a visit, it doesn't happen anymore. She's been in my house for a visit, and she does the same thing, put the kids in the car to go. We go and check, it doesn't happen. But the days that she used to look after us, come and cook, help to clean, get us organized, get Charlene's food for the next day ready for school. That radio was coming on every night. And now you guys can think the way you guys like, but I know why. I even have recorded a few of them for my own references, not to prove anything. And there is another one that I'd like to share with you guys. I know it's taking a bit of time, but I think it's good to say that for everyone that have lost their loved one, to know that they are there. They really are. You just gotta be in tune, and you gotta love it. And they will come. They can come and cut your grass, for sure they can. But there are things that you ask, somehow they will come and they do tell you guys. For instance, about a few months into her passing on, I received a letter from bank. They needed him for some few documents from me, which is, I have never seen him. For instance, my marriage certificate, I just signed it. I really did. I signed it 20 odd years ago, and I handed it to her, and I never saw it again. I could not to begin where to go and look in that house and find it, how to find it. So I ignored it. I ignored the letter. There comes another letter a few months after it. And I didn't know where to start again, so I ignored that one as well. Do you believe it? I received another one. Then I had to call my solicitor and asked for advice. How should I go about this? Because I can't find this. I was really stressing over it. I really was. Because they needed it and I had to get paperwork organized. One night, she came to my dream. We went for a walk as we used to do normally. We used to go in our driveway and walk on the gravels with barefoot. We went for a walk. The dream was so real. I've had so many dreams, but this one was a 3D, real dream. I didn't feel that I'm dreaming. It felt that we are doing this. We went for a walk. We did our walk, we talked, we come back in the kitchen. She made a coffee for both of us. And as she was making a coffee, she turned around and told me, honey, you know, in the study, in the filing cabinet, in the top drawer, the last folder is something that you may need. She didn't tell me what it is. She didn't tell me, she just said, there is something that you may need. That's all she said. And everything just went away. Nothing cut, I didn't jump, nothing happened, it just disappeared. The dream just disappeared. Came the morning. I went to the study, to the top drawer, opened the drawer, put the last folder out. There it is. All the kids' birth certificate, my citizenship, and my marriage certificate. All in one folder, exactly where she said. They come in different ways. They say different things in different ways. All it is, we just gotta believe it. We just need to believe it. That's all I can say. And the only reason I shared this, I've got so many, past 23 years, so many memories that I can tell you guys, but which is, I'm sure every family have with their own. But something like this, I don't know if anybody have had it or not, but I thought I'd better share this with you guys, with everyone here tonight, to tell you guys know that they are around us. All you need to do is just believe in it and ask things that you need, help that you want, and in a way, believe me, you will receive help and you will see that happens. Thank you very much.
Thank you everyone for your prayers, thoughts and participation with the program tonight in memory of our beloved Tina.
We would now like to ask you to join us for dinner in the dining room. Thank you.
چی شالی بود؟ صحبت‌های همه موزیک, the memories, everything, every single bit of it. The setup was beautiful. The food.
Thank you so much. انشالله. آره خدا شکر. خوش آمدید. مرسی. سلام. خوب هستی شما؟ مرسی.
یا مردم نمی‌دونن بخندن یا گریه کنن.
هلو. برنامه چطور بود که؟
عالی بود.
آره.
Really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it.
Which part?
The whole part, the very emotional part. All the singing, all the praying.
Thank you, darling. Thank you, sir. Please. مرسی که اومدی. مرسی که اومدی. مرسی. من جان.
Lovely, and we do miss you.
Yeah, that's fine.
And you meet Now, please enjoy the program.
Oh, it was a very nice program. Really heart-touching.
Thank you so much.
Very well done.
Thank you. Thank you. شما هم دوست داشتید آرزوی این برنامه خیلی خوش آمدید. برنامه رو دوست داشتید؟
Thank you so much for sharing your heart with all of us. And she's a beautiful soul and beloved friend. Thank you,
Thank you, Jenna.